Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Light the Torch podcast. I'm your host, B. Jones. And to my right, we have Blackie Chan. Bottom right, we have Gunner. And bottom left, we have my man, Raul. And today, we're going to be giving you our post-game analysis on the ASU USC game. Before we get started, guys, how you guys feeling today?
Good.
Just a little tired.
Yeah. You guys didn't know. You guys probably heard last episode.
We're 4-0, so good.
Can't complain. Yeah, Gunner was actually able to attend the game.
Yes.
Got to see the game live. He did come back with all his hair. He didn't pull it all out, so that's good. So yeah, man, let's get into it, man. Let's kick this thing off. Start with offensive and defensive grades. You go ahead and kick it off, Blackie Chan.
Offensive grade, I will give it a solid B. We scored a lot. We scored more than what we scored under our average. But even with our off game, we still scored a lot. And there were times where we made it look easy, but there was times where they looked frantic. They didn't know how to get the calls in. Like, there was a lot of costly timeouts that were taken way too early, delay of games, offensive penalties that should not have happened. I think we had 4 or 5 false starts or something like that. I can't remember. I lost count. So solid B. This was a quote-unquote down week or a down game for Caleb, even though he scores 5 touchdowns. So, which is telling you something about our offense, is that this is a bad game technically. Defense, I'm bouncing between a C plus and a B minus. I'm going to go with B minus for right now. I know the average fans out there may not think they deserve that grade, but there was a lot of times where they stood tall when USC didn't really, or our offense didn't really give them much to defend. So they didn't have too many bad penalties, I would say. There was some pass interference actually, I don't know if there was really too many bad penalties that were like boneheaded mistakes. So I'm not too mad about that, but a lot of missed tackles. Tackett kind of looked. This was the most freshman he's ever looked. He was taking poor angles. He was, I don't know. He just was more chasing the ball than hunting it down. He was always behind the ball, or at least he was behind the ball rather than in front of it. So he's a freshman, so I expect it. So he'll get better throughout the time. But there was definitely a missing player that I'm sure all of us missed on the defensive side. So we'll get to that a little bit later. But yeah, I'll give them a B minus because they held strong and got a lot of sacks towards the end and held them down towards the end.
All right, Gunner, what you got?
What was your defensive grade? Sorry.
B minus.
Okay, B minus. Okay. So for offense, I have B minus. Basically, kind of the same feelings and thoughts of what Blackie Chan said about the false starts, the rhythm wasn't there. Essentially, an off night. The B minus, I would say, kind of also falls on Lincoln. I mean, he could have ran that ball the whole day. What's his face? Marshawn Lono, I think, only had 14 carries, and out of the 14 carries, he had 11 yards on average. So, I mean, it was interesting that he kind of said post-game, we kind of gave him a lot of work. I don't know, 14 carries to me doesn't seem like a lot of work, but that's just me. But yeah, so I got to give it a B minus. And then for defense, I'll say a C, C plus maybe. I mean, there wasn't much penalties on the defensive side that I can really remember. It's just the tackling, especially the defensive backs. According to PFF, I think we had 14 missed tackles. 9 of them were coming from the defensive backs. I mean, we got to clean that up. And then just the linebackers overall, both of them, really Cobb, and Curtis, they look like freshmen out there. And I think that's more of I guess a bad statement on Cobb because he's not a freshman; he's a veteran. So I mean, I expect better out of that linebacker room because that's the key room of how this defense can flow. So if that room is out of sync, then this defense is not going to excel.
I would agree with a lot of that, man. Go ahead, Raul, what you got?
So very similar to Blackie, Jan, and Gunner. I personally give them a C on offense, on the sole fact that we know how elite this offense can be. There was a lot of, Caleb looked out of rhythm. It's probably the first time I've seen him out of rhythm in a long time, other than that Utah game or Tulane game last year. But I think he was 100. He wasn't 100% at the time. So it was very surprising. Honestly, I thought the game was going to be a lot different than how it turned out. A lot of false starts. I want to say there was a few of them at least that I can remember. So hopefully the offense can, clean that up moving forward. But it's a lot of stuff. I know that offensively things didn't go according to plan, but I think it's good game experience to work on for future games and throughout the season. I think even though it wasn't nice, I think this is going to be very valuable experience moving forward. Defensively, I'll give them a C plus as well. I think, or C plus, and we gave up too many points. I know that there was a lot of trick plays, and that a defense can't really prepare for that. But personally, I think that a good defensive team will only allow so many trick plays to work, and I feel like we allowed too many. Obviously, Dillingham probably took out his entire playbook yesterday because it was probably their bowl game, in my opinion, being that they're not going to be qualifying for one. At least it doesn't seem like it. And then they're they got their self-imposed bowl ban. So I think they definitely pull out all the strengths yesterday. Overall, it wasn't pretty. It was an ugly win, but at the end of the day, a win's a win, and I'll take it. We're 4-0. A lot to improve on, but a lot of things to learn from as well.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Listen, we'll get to the overall takes, man. But right now, in offensive defensive grade, I would say for the offense, I would have them at a C plus. And man, if I didn't go back and look at the stats, I'd probably give them a D, or at least closer to a D, man, because it was very ugly. It was horrible. I mean, that start was the worst start you could possibly have, man. And we got senior leaders getting dumb penalties on the offensive line, especially when I don't know how you have a false start when you're the one with the ball in your hand. That's just not acceptable. Listen, I get it. We're coming off a bye week, and we could be rusty, but from a coach standpoint, how do you let that happen? That's the biggest fear of having a bye week then. So that should have been kept in mind over the bye week, and we should have came out better prepared. And the offense was way out of sync, and play calling was very questionable. So that a lot of that grade I have to give to Lincoln. I would definitely have given them a D because of that. But if you look at the stats, we still had 5 touchdowns, still 500 plus yards, and Caleb still looks like he still looks like the guy. That's my quarterback. Yeah. So, but aside from that, man, it was not a pretty showing from our offense. Defensively, man, well, considering that they threw the whole kitchen at us, not just the kitchen sink, they threw the entire kitchen at us, So they threw the kitchen at us, and we were still able to we held Scatterbo to under 150, which is, I guess, the best takeaway we can get from that. You know, his all-purpose yards that's a whole nother story. But we held him under 150 rushing. It looked a lot worse than that. Watching it, it looked like he ran for about 300. I mean, but questionable personnel decisions. If you ask me, I personally feel like this is a game fitting for Shane Lee. That type of game is definitely his style. Coming from Alabama, that's how they played out there. And you forget Shane Lee was a freshman All-American playing that style. He likes to run and hit. He runs very well. If you don't say nothing else positive about Shane Lee, you can say that. He runs very well, man. So I would have liked to see more of Shane Lee. I don't understand why he didn't play. Maybe there's a reason. Him and Rajon, maybe there's reasons that we don't know of. I'm assuming that, maybe they were just a little banged up or something. We don't know because we don't get injury reports. But for that, I have to give the defense a B- just because, they were throwing the kitchen sink, man. So you can't really plan for that. So,
I didn't know where you're going with that. I was expecting you to give him a C-.
I got to give it the good with the bad. But I'll be generous. I feel like I'm being generous with these grades at least.
I mean, the defense definitely stepped up in that fourth quarter, with the exception of that that TD drive where the missed tackle from Max Williams
and Eric Gentry.
Right.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't have went low there.
If you listen to, like I said in the review show, the preview show, that's what that fourth quarter is what I expected all game. Yeah. That's what the game would be like. So I don't really understand what happened.
I think we got was it 7 sacks in that last quarter? I want to say.
Yep, we finished with 8. What did you call it? Didn't you call me have 8 sacks?
Yeah, we finished with 8.
Yeah,
I think 7 of them were in that fourth. Yeah,
I think I said we'd get about 7 or 8 sacks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
I think Raul called it spot on. What Raul said? He had it down to each player. We got to go through that, man.
I don't know if I got every single player, but I know I was missing Bars for sure. I don't think Bars got one.
Yeah, he didn't get much time. I don't know if he's banged up or what, man. So I don't know. There's some question marks as far as personnel decisions, and we don't.
But that being said, I did not expect the game to be like this.
Yeah, no.
I pictured it completely different in my head. Those 8 sacks, throughout the game and being a shutout.
Right. 66-10 finish. So, I was way off. But I'm glad we got out of there with the win, though.
During USC J's stream, LBC was on there, and he put up a stat that just shows that our fourth game is never our best game. I was going to mention it. Last year.
Yeah.
So I'll talk about it real quick. So all of games that are on the road. So back in 2002, we lost to Washington State. 2003, we lost to Cal. 2005, we beat ASU, but we were down 21-3 at half. 2007, we beat UW. 11, we lost to ASU. 13, we lost to ASU. That was the tarmac game. 16, we lost to Utah, and then last year we beat.
And those were all game 4s?
All game 4s on the road, yeah.
Game 4 is cursed. Okay, I am never going to take a game 4 lightly ever again. Never. Because that's a scary trend. And that's not just on one coach or one team or anything like that. That's
multiple.
That's through multiple seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So PayPal says that a grade of D needs improvement. So yes, a D would be a
Yeah,
I agree, man.
That is true. He's not wrong.
It definitely needs improvement, man. We've had questions about our secondary every episode so far, and I'm ready for those questions to be answered, man. They have yet to do that. So hopefully this game, we get those answers.
So what was your thoughts on them, I guess, game planning on just throwing it to whoever was on the other side of Damani, or maybe the right side? Because they never threw at Damani. They barely even threw at Jacoby when Jacoby came in for Damani. They were really just going after Sair and CRW. It was very interesting.
Honestly, I don't even think they were trying. They were just going towards Elijah Badger.
Exactly.
Whoever was on
Yeah.
Elijah Badger, they were just tossing it up.
Yeah.
Like they just tossed it up, and he just came down with it. Which he like the Sierra Wright, like it wasn't the worst coverage on him.
No, it's just that's just he's unlucky. That's
Yeah.
just so unlucky.
Like he just made a good. He just that was a good offensive play just by him. Like Sierra, he could have broke that up too, but Elijah just came down with it.
Sierra's always right there.
Yeah.
Right. It's like one step behind or something, you know, like half a step or something.
Yeah.
Honestly, like with no one targeting like or Domani, I was like, is Domani even playing? But then
But that's what you want out of a corner.
that's exactly what you want. You don't want to hear their
You
name.
don't hear his name all game. That means he's doing his job.
But I was like, I looked at the stat sheets, like, oh, he did play. So he must have been playing really well.
I don't want to hear Domani's name at all during the game.
I was asking
unless he's making an interception.
Right.
Yeah. I was asking the group chat, hey, where's Domani? I didn't even realize he was playing
for
a second. Yeah. For a second, I was like, is he hurt or something? But that's good. I mean, he was doing his job.
That means he stepped it up. So good on him.
So good work, Domani.
Tip-up says, I'm assuming that's Rajon. Rajon and Shane made a good team on the field. More of that, please. Absolutely. I think I mentioned in one of the episodes, and they seem like they just have the best chemistry out there playing together.
I think they're the best when it comes to rushing attacks. Like if it's going to be a passing attempt, I think it's going to be more Cobb and Eric Gentry because they can cover a lot more of the field, and they have
coverage. Tack is good in coverage, but Rajon has also shown that he can cover too. So it's like, what do you do? It's not an easy position. I mean, easy position for Simmons and Grinch to be in right now.
Yeah,
being it's like, man, who do I start? But I mean, I would have liked to have seen more rotation than what we saw.
I would definitely have liked to see those two people playing at least just a few drives at least something.
Yeah,
I was looking for number 9 the whole time. I was like, where is he?
Yeah, we need number 9. But like, this is the time we put in number 9, please.
Yeah, because he's fast and physical. Shane can stuff the middle, but Rajon can push him towards the sideline and tackle him in an open field.
Right. I think I saw Shane Lee on some special teams snaps.
I looked at per the box score on USC. They do not have Shane Lee at all. Like as a participant.
Really? I don't think they count special teams.
Yeah. Well, they count Eddie Chaplitsky. Well, he is the punter.
That's all you can count him for.
They even have Jonah Monheim and Lake McCree on defense for some reason, according to this. Huh. Don't know how that makes sense. Yeah. Oh, never mind. It was just overall, I guess.
Was it maybe I can't remember the players, but when they fumble it, who was the one that got the
Romello Height?
Romello.
Yeah. Are you talking about when we had the strip sack?
Yeah.
When we fumbled the ball, when Caleb Williams and
when we fumbled
Lloyd,
that was
the ball. It could have been that one play.
Oh yeah, maybe. Technically, they touched them or whatever,
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna move on to our second quarter, and that is give us your offense and defense MVPs as well as honorable mention if you have one. All right, we're gonna start with you, Blackie Chan. Go ahead.
So I'm gonna let other people say this one, but I'm gonna go with Brandon Rice. Like there's an obvious one for me on offense, but I'm gonna go different with Brandon Rice because he helped Caleb extend drives, extend his passing. Like as they keep saying, with Caleb Williams, you have to make yourself open. You have to keep running. You got to keep moving because you don't know when he's going to find you. And Brandon Rice, he was found a lot. And he was our first 100-yard receiver. He had a great game, 2 touchdowns. that just like he said in the podcast that he has to slow down for Caleb Williams, and he slowed down for Caleb for that long 45-yard touchdown or whatever. I was like, okay, maybe he is that fast.
Oh, yeah, he's gonna let him hear it on the podcast.
Oh yeah, he's not gonna let him live that down. Like, you could have threw that ball a little bit harder and put me in the end zone instead of having to bunny hop over a guy. But yeah, Brandon Rice, and no bobbles at all, no bobbles. So, and the only incompletion he had was kind of a bad throw by Caleb. Actually, just kind of threw into coverage. So, Brandon Rice had a game that may have solidified him as our go-to receiver, except if they only targeted Taj twice. Don't know why. So I would give it to him. Defense, I'm going to give it to my boy Bear Alexander. He set that tone. It was noticeably different when Bear wasn't on the field causing havoc. And I'm at this point, I'm going to pronounce myself as the president of the Bear Alexander fan club, because I don't think I've chosen anyone else to be defensive MVP at all but Bear Alexander. So I swear this will be my last time picking him unless he does, unless he gets an interception and runs it back for a touchdown. But Bear was great. Honorable mention, Solomon Bird.
Okay.
Go ahead, Gunner. What you got?
Yeah, so I'm gonna start with my honorable mention. I'm gonna give it to Dennis Lynch. I mean, honestly, if he didn't get those 2 field goals, I mean, I think a lot of us would be sweating a little bit more throughout that fourth quarter. So I got to give him to that. And then I'm honestly with you on the same MVP's offense. I got to give it to Brendan Rice. I mean, you could tell throughout that game that once Caleb was starting to go to him, he started getting more comfortable. So it was great to see. I mean, the dude balled up here with 7 catches, 133 yards, I think 2 tutties.
Yep.
I mean, can't ask for more, honestly. So, and then defense, I mean, Bear Alexander, he's creating havoc. I mean, the dude is, I think now officially, since everyone's on the same kind of game path, essentially, in terms of amount of games, I mean, he's leading the league in QB pressures, I believe, according to PFF. Yep. Again, that's all you can ask for a defensive tackle and a D lineman to wreak havoc, create pressure, and let the back end do their job. So,
absolutely. What you got, Raul?
I'm gonna go a little bit different, so don't kill me, guys. Here, I'm gonna have to give it to. Like I said, I know it's a USC podcast, so I'll get to who's the USC offensive MVP, but the offensive player of the game was Scatterbo, or whatever his name is, Scatterbo.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
He's the reason why it was so close. And I'll be honest, I was sweating yesterday. I was nervous. I was like, wait, what the hell's going on here? Like, are we going to see an upset? It's like, so I got to give him at least some love, show him some love. He completed 2 passes for 42 yards, 20 carries for 111, 1 touchdown, and then obviously receiving. So you saw what he did. So I got to give it to him. Got to show him love. He definitely made USC fans sweat a little bit. So got to show him some love. But on the USC side, I'm with you guys as well. Brandon Rice was the offensive player of the game for us, I believe. Like you guys, he stood out. He got those 2 reception touchdowns. So he definitely helped out. He sealed the win for us yesterday as well. I want to say it was to go up 14 towards the end of the 4th. So definitely give it to Brandon Rice. And defensively, I think I'm with you as well, Blackie Chen. So I'll join you on that club. I think I've only picked Bear Alexander, and I called it his first sack of the season. So I'm happy for him.
I really thought that this would have gone completely opposite of what I was thinking. So, all right, cool.
Yep. It's on me, and I guess I'm frozen again because no apparent reason. But anyways, Obviously, I called it in our previous show, man. The previous show, I said B. Rice was going to be the MVP.
Yep.
But I'm gonna give it to Marshawn Lloyd, man. 14 carries for 154. He should have had more carries. I don't care what anyone says. Lincoln, you was tripping on that one. Feed the man. Feed the man. Imagine if he had 20 carries. You know, probably would have went for over 200. But yeah, man. So my offensive, he's my offensive MVP. For defense, I'm gonna give it to someone that we haven't given it to, who I was actually very impressed with and very surprised by.
Okay.
And that's gonna be Romello Height, man.
That's a good one.
Romello Height balled yesterday. I don't know if you guys noticed, he was all over the place, man. And I was really impressed by him. I mean, obviously Bear did his thing. And who else? Solomon Bird. You know, we've given it to them a few times, so we expect that from them at this point. But
fair enough.
Romello, I wouldn't say he caught me by surprise because we knew he was capable of, but it was good to see him finally, bringing it home, man. So he had 2 for 2, 2 solos, 2 tackles for loss, 2 sacks. Yeah, man.
And a fumble recovery.
And a fumble recovery. Yep. So, yeah, that's my defensive MVP, man. Shout out to him. Honorable mention, Solomon Bird, of course. He had just about the same one, but he forced a fumble. So he had 2 for 2 as well. 2 sacks, 1 tackle for loss, and forced fumble. And Bear got his first one, man. Can't forget to mention that. I mean, I know.
Do you have like a clapping sound?
What's that? I don't, man.
You need one.
Yeah, I got to get a clapping sound for sure.
We'll probably save that one for Corey Foreman.
Well, we have to throw a party, man. Corey.
Yeah, man. I want him to get his. So
yeah.
No, like honestly, I thought a lot of people were going to say Marshawn Lloyd because I was on the verge of saying Marshawn as well. But like B. Jones said, I said Brandon Rice was going to be MVP as well. I said he was going to be our first receiver to have a 100-yard receiver, and he showed out.
Yep, you called it.
And I called you called the 100-yard mark for Rice, and then I called 150 for Lloyd. So I'm glad that happened.
Yep.
Yeah. Like we got those century mark players for right now, and I hope it gets to be more because Brandon Rice and Marshawn definitely deserve that. Like Marshawn could have probably gone over 200 yards if we gave him 5 more carries. He probably would have went over 200 yards.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think they should have gave him a touchdown. Like when he got so close he got tripped up. No, that was Austin Jones that got tripped up.
What do you guys think?
There was one that I thought he could have gotten. I think it was earlier where he was running on the left side.
Yeah, you're right.
Out of bounds. I felt like he could have cut back in.
Or they should have just gave it to him right after that. Like just let him punch it in.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think on the receiving side? Like I know that we're using a bunch of multiple wide receivers because they're more than capable of performing, but I kind of would like to get it, cut to maybe 3 to 4 at max. In my opinion, just so we can get some.
So they said the 7 is probably going to be their max.
Yeah, that's what Dennis Simmons said that he.
Yeah, they're going to go from 10 to 7. Yeah, they're going to go from 10 to 7.
But honestly, I think the starters now that are primarily going to see the field more often is going to be.
Well, they pretty much did the 7, so it's Brendan Rice, Zachariah, Taj, Michael Jackson, Kyron Hudson, Mario Williams, and Dorian Singer. Those are the 7 wide receivers that caught a ball.
Mike Jack had a pretty decent game too.
Say again?
Mike Jack had a pretty good game.
Yeah, I heard his wrist. They were looking at it, so I don't know if it's serious or not, but I know he was a little bit. But no, I agree. I mean, I think. I mean, I know what we say about Mario and all that in his drops, but I mean, I'd take Michael Jack over Mario right now. Even if maybe Mario has the higher ceiling, I mean, at the end of the day, we need to see the ball get caught. So
Yeah, too many dropped balls was a
Wait.
very, very concerning thing.
Yeah, man. I'm hoping that we're not saying that Mario Williams is this year's Brandon Rice. It's starting to look that way, man.
Don't do that to them.
Listen, I know. I didn't want to put that voodoo out there, Ricky Bobby, but it's it's looking that way, man. I mean, Mario, you got to get together, bro. That was bad. We can excuse one, but you have multiple drops. You owe the fans some push-ups, man. You better live stream with something on Instagram. Tag us in, but you owe us some push-ups, brother.
He would have had a touchdown too if he didn't take his eyes off the ball, because he knew he would have had a touchdown.
Yeah, 100%. But first things first, man. Catch the ball. That's the basics.
Yeah.
I think Mario Williams had that issue since last year, so he just got to see the ball go through his hands before he starts running. I feel like he wants to run before he even catches the ball. So you just gotta make sure you catch it and then you make the move, whatever. But just focus on catching the damn ball, because those are crucial. Was it a crucial third down on one of them?
Yeah.
Right. Listen, I'm being hard on Mario just because I know that he's really good.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason why I expect more from him, and I'm sure he expects more from himself.
He had some really good games for us last year.
Absolutely.
So,
I mean, I'm just wondering if the whole rotating on the wide receivers is impacting these players, because I mean they're not really get into a certain rhythm.
Yeah, I can see that.
So that's the reason why I would like to get it cut down to maybe 5 at most.
I understand both sides.
So I guess let's ask this question then. So I mentioned the 7. Who would be the 2 that you would remove?
The 2 that I would remove?
Yeah.
So based off yesterday.
So it's Brendan Rice, Zachariah, Taj, Michael Jackson.
It's probably honestly right now it'll probably Hudson and then Mario Williams. I mean, sorry Mario Williams, but all the other players are outperforming you at this point. You got to earn it back. You want that spot, earn it.
Right.
I agree.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, man. Mario's got to step it up. That we know, man. You owe us, Mario. So get on those push-ups, man. Tag us. Do it on Instagram Live. Gotta pay the piper, man. Those drops are not acceptable.
A good 100, because I'm sure you can knock out 50 like a piece of cake. I mean, it's cake pop from. So make sure at least 100.
Yeah, we don't want to tire him out too much, man. We are in season, so. But yeah. So we're gonna move on to halftime. Do we have any updates recruiting wise? Any newsworthy topics?
Yeah, for USC related, I don't have anything. Non-USC related, our good friend Brandon Baker just committed to Texas, so the Zeros do not get Brandon Baker.
I am perfectly
fine with that.
So somehow it feels like a victory.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, it is, because we don't get to see him unless we play him in the playoffs.
I definitely want to see Texas again.
I'm saying unless we see him in the playoffs, but at least we don't see him a few times during the year. So,
right.
Absolutely. All right. Well, with that, we're going to move into our third quarter, which is give me your overall takes regarding this game. Your overall feelings, or just your overall reaction and thoughts of how you think the game went, or how you think the game should have gone, or what we could have done differently. Just give it all. Go ahead and lay it all out, man. Go ahead, Blackie Chan.
Lincoln Riley needs to do better with getting the play called in there, especially if they're trying to audible. There were so many times where the clock was running out, and the moment that they looked over to the sideline to get the audible, they turned back. There was 2 seconds left on the play clock. Wasted timeouts, wasted yards for a delay of game. We had a timeout that when we came out of the timeout, we were still rushing to get the ball off. Like, that shouldn't happen out of a timeout. How do you let that happen? It's just unacceptable. like that was just kind of jarring that we had a full bye week and we were still looking like we were unprepared. It just didn't seem like the bye week did us any favors. And like, I don't know, what else? The useless penalties, like there was just a lot of mental mistakes that happened that should not have happened come out of a bye week. We should have been very prepared for this team. We knew that this was their national championship for them. Like, I doubt they will play this good against any other team throughout the rest of the year. Scatterboo probably will get like 60, 70 yards next game. But this game, he sold out for this game, and they put all their efforts into winning this game. So I still do not have I'm not on the bandwagon to fire Grinch. I'm definitely not there right now. And I think that people who are on that bandwagon maybe jumping on that after one bad performance. They were on that for the San Jose game, then they jumped back on the bandwagon after the Nevada and Stanford game, and now they're back off the bandwagon. So you just gotta go for the ride until the end of the season, until we start dropping games that we shouldn't be dropping. We didn't drop this game. They saved us on a few of them. Like Kalen Bullock had that that INT. He started dialing up the pressure. We got 7 or 8 sacks in this game. So when he doesn't get into his own head, he calls great plays. But when he does get into his head, people question him, and that's when they start to want his job.
Absolutely.
So overall, I just say the fourth game is a curse, and expect it moving forward that game 4 is going to be cursed for us.
Yep. All right, Guns, what you got, man? Give us your overall take.
Yes, I mean, first off, I'll say, it's happy. I'm happy to say that we're 4-0, right? Regardless of what happened, it's great to see. But I think honestly, I have some concerns with Lincoln, Grinch, and I'll even call out Odom in terms of the linebacker room. I mean, you continue to tell us every week that you have 5 people that can play this position, but yet you only play 3 of them. And then you play your best linebacker, the least out of the 3 that played Saturday, in terms of Gentry. I mean, what is it? You're just telling us things so we can, hear the good stuff, and then we feel good, and then going into the game, it's not that. I mean, I'm just confused on that part. I think that there still needs to be some conversation in terms of assignments, like that first touchdown that we gave up, even though we fumbled the ball. I mean, Kalen Bullock was out of position. If he was in position, he probably would have made the tackle, hopefully, even though he's not great at tackling. And then I think even I noticed on that play that they tried slanting the D lineman, where I think number 47 kind of came in, and I think they wanted Bear to kind of go around him, and that kind of created a hole. I mean, no offense to Sayer, he's always there and always a step late, but I just think he needs to start seeing the game from the bench. I mean, I personally would rather have Damani, CRW, Jacoby before him. Even Kalen, if we were going to go man to man. I can't start. I'm tired of seeing him just giving up a touchdown when he's right there. I don't know. It's just something about that is bothering me. I mean, again, they gave us the whole kitchen sink and kitchen, refrigerator and everything in terms of what they threw at us. But I don't know. I just think that there were some things that they could have easily done in terms of simple assignment, adjustments, and then we would have been fine. So I think they made those adjustments obviously in the fourth quarter. It seemed like they just let the D linemen kind of do their thing, and obviously we got to the quarterback. But I think Lincoln's feeling it, but this is the year where he needs to really figure out his defense and all that, just to be more aware of what's going on. Sometimes it seems like he is, but sometimes he isn't. So I mean, that's just really all my overall reactions. It's really the defense and what they're trying to do on if they're shortening the rotations. If that's the case so far going into the rest of this year, I'm going to be disagreeing with them a lot because poor showing. I mean, again, Cobb, you look like a freshman. You're a senior, man. No offense, but we got to figure something out. We got to figure something out because if that linebacker room again is not gelling and not producing, we probably won't even make the Pac-12 championship probably. So yeah, that's really just my overall reaction. I mean, I know again we won the game 42-28. They threw us everything, but there were simple things out there that probably could have gave them more field goal attempts than touchdowns. So
real quick, Gunner. Tape app has a question for you. How was the crowd noise on the field?
Yeah, no, it was great. It was a live event. Everyone was there trying to get USC to lose. So I love the time there, the crowd noise. But I think they should have done better with their drone show. Maybe done it in the middle of the field and not like behind the scoreboard billboard thing that I don't think everyone saw. I mean, it was cool. They showed the ASU. They did the forks up thing and all that. But I don't know. I just thought that was weird. So, yeah.
When trying to be like USC goes wrong.
Right.
All right, Raul, what you got, man?
Overall, I'm happy that, we're 4-0. We escaped with the victory. So, I mean, as most USC fans, obviously, be disappointed on how the game ended up, playing out yesterday. We all saw it as a blowout, but Dillingham definitely did his job. He put a really good game plan, and he executed. Luckily, like I said, we escaped with the victory. Other years we probably lose this game. So that's a positive that, we ended up winning by 2 scores, which, at the end of the day, it's like I said, it's an ugly win, but it's a lot of stuff we can learn from this. I'm glad it happened versus Arizona State and not with another, I guess, what you call a better team, right? So, that's my opinion. Offensively, we definitely need to straighten things out, make sure that we don't do those silly mistakes, penalties, especially the offensive line. I don't want to see any false starts. We got to keep these third downs manageable, making sure that, we move the ball, whether it's running it or passing it. One thing I do want to say regarding Lincoln Riley, I feel like sometimes he definitely favors a passing game, and he's very hard-headed when it comes to that. I mean, sometimes if the passing game is not working, just go with the run, especially when you got a hell of a tailback that Marshawn Lloyd is, right? So, I mean, use him to his advantage. And, that's just my thoughts. And then regarding EV, I definitely wanted Grinch fired since last year. But, I mean, we have him this year, so I'm rooting for the guy. I hope he proves us wrong. It's a TBD for me in terms of whether I want him as our DC or not yet. We haven't really played anybody, and obviously things didn't look great yesterday, but they did step up in the fourth with the exception of those 2 missed tackles. But, overall, happy that we're 4-0 and just move on to the next game.
Absolutely. So what I've come to notice, man, about these Leach products, that's Mike Leach, rest in peace, is that they don't like running the ball much as they would like to tell you that they do. At least that's the way it seems, man. If you look at every coach that's come from the Leach tree, man, most of them were former quarterbacks, and most former quarterbacks pretty much call the game the same way, man. It's like they kind of hesitate to run the ball. They prefer to pass, of course, because they see the game through a quarterback's lens.
Yeah.
you know. But that being said, man, my overall take, like I said, it looks much better on paper. So you watch the game, you're like, oh my God, this is tragic. But if you look at it on paper, like, oh, actually, it's not that bad. You know, compared to the rest of the country, we've seen this all season long from the top 10 teams.
Yeah.
You know, having ugly wins, and we just haven't been impressed by them. Right? Well, that was ours. That was our ugly win. We're not exempt from those type of games. You know, we get a little spoiled because, you know, we've been putting up 50 all year. But with that being said, man, the grades that I gave earlier, and I'll put that on the coaches. I'll put that more so on the coaches because they didn't prepare these guys, and it showed. You had a whole bye week, man. There's no excuse for the way we came out. You know, Lincoln has to take full blame for that. He has to take full accountability for his play calling and lack of running the ball. I feel like we've been saying this since last year as well. And I'm starting to understand that this is just who he is. You know, he comes from that Leach tree, and they don't like to run the ball like that. Unfortunately, man. But I think he could really simplify the game for himself if he did choose to run the ball. We run the ball, we eat up the clock, and the point margin is different, and we don't even have to put up as many points. You know, I think sometimes he tries to, I don't know if he's trying to cover spread or pat Caleb's stats, or, you know, I don't know. I've never talked to the guy about game plan, so I don't really know. But I feel like he definitely needs to start handing the ball off a little more, man. Just from a clock management standpoint, just overall, you know, longevity. We have a stable.
Yeah.
We have a full stable of backs that need to be displayed. And again, we have a stable of receivers as well, but in a situation like that, we need to be running the ball. Next week, we need to be running the ball. You know what I mean? There's no reason to not run the ball when there's a glaring weakness on the opposite side of you.
Yeah.
So, but overall takeaway, man, it wasn't as bad as, you know, you would think. It was ugly, but we did get the win. We did score 5 touchdowns. You know what I mean? We did go over 500 yards. Everything that we called on over-under happened. You know what I mean? Including on the defensive side with the sacks. They all came in one quarter, but, you know, we'll take it. So, yeah, I mean, my overall is I'm ready to move on because that was ugly.
I don't want to get ahead because this is probably more for a conversation for Thursday, but something I noticed ASU, and I guess that's after watching the Colorado-Oregon game. Colorado obviously moves fast, right? And it seems like there's times where the calls from Grinch and everyone is like a tad late, where sometimes they'll be like looking down at their thing or whatever because they have the thing right there on their belt, you know. And I don't know, that's was something that was kind of concerning, especially for this next week. Like I could definitely see Colorado, you know, getting a first down, right, then going quick, and then let's say don't mean to throw this guy out, but let's say Kalen, because he looks down a lot. Let's say Kalen looks down, the play happens, and then he's just right by Kalen already. So
That's
just something I noticed at the ASU game, especially after rewatching it. It seemed like there's a lot of adjustment changes and stuff like that. So, but yeah.
Yeah, so Anthony James says Dillingham did show how to beat us. They controlled the clock a lot and punched us in the red zone. I would say definitely controlling the clock, yes, can affect us, but I just feel like he was running. I think Kenny Dillingham was taking plays off of NFL blitz, NFL backyard football, like a lot of that stuff. You would not be running on a day-to-day basis. Like that weird fake punt. Was it a fake punt or I don't know when
supposedly that wasn't supposed to be a fake punt. According to I forgot who said it, but they said basically the guy that had the ball, the QB technically, I think it was the running back. Right, yeah. And then whoever was in the slot they just looked at each other and they decided to do this, I guess.
Yeah.
Really?
That is a little concerning, but yeah.
I don't know about that one, man.
I just feel like that they
With that.
wanted they did. I'm surprised they didn't run the Statue of Liberty personally, like the annexation of Puerto Rico, some Little Giant reference if you guys know that. But like they really pulled out all the stops, and I'm sure that was on purpose when it came to like Kenny Dillingham starting to call the plays instead of the actual offensive coordinator. Because if I feel like if the the actual offensive coordinator would have called plays, I don't know if he would have kind of done all of that kind of fancy stuff. But I think definitely controlling the clock and making sure that Caleb's on the sidelines is the best way to stop us. Like anything to keep our defense on the field is probably going to be the best way to stop us.
Yeah.
But to add to that, Blackie Chan, regarding this or following up on Anthony James' statement, Dillingham might have shown the way, but it's early in the season, so we have a lot. We can make a lot of adjustments throughout the season, right? So that might have worked yesterday, but it doesn't mean it's going to work tomorrow. I'll reference De La Hoya. He regarding boxing, he always says that he has a script to beat Floyd, but no one ended up beating him. So you can have a script, but you got to execute at the end of the day. So I think our coaches, I have faith in Grinch that he'll get it together, and that we'll be in the playoffs this year.
Absolutely. Listen, pump your brakes, fellas. Not us, I'm saying in general, as far as SC fans. We're fine. We're fine. Yep. Look how horrible we played, and look at the outcome.
Yeah.
We're fine. Good teams find ways to win, no matter how bad they're playing.
Yeah. If they start out rushing us and out passing us and actually outplaying us, then I'd be nervous.
Yeah, well, it's like this. Do you feel like we played out of our norm?
Yeah.
Exactly. That wasn't a normal game for us, and we still came out with the victory, a 2-score victory.
Yeah,
we're fine. We're not going to play like that again. We're not going to play that bad again. And there's a lot to take away from it, and there's a lot to work on, and I believe it will get worked on. As far as the coaches, hopefully they get to scout themselves and come to some realizations, and I'm hoping for that more so than I am the players. Because for me at least, honeymoon's over. Yeah, I'm glad we got Riley, but Riley's here now, and he's going to get criticized just as much as anyone else.
Yep,
that deserves criticism. I'm not holding back. So, sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Like David said, we were sloppy. Like we would have had another touchdown, and we settled for a field goal because we had a holding penalty when Zechariah scored a touchdown.
And those type of mistakes are expected out of a bye week. Not to that degree. I mean, of course, we had too many, but that's part of the rust coming out of bye week. Every team pretty much goes through that. But yeah, no. But the amount that we had is especially unacceptable, man.
Anthony James says, "Do you think Grinch has a crutch when he gets unsure about things, and he will use his guys?
Maybe play his guys, or?"
I think I understand what he's saying. Like he just has some guys, like how Clay Helton has his guys that he uses all the time.
Oh yeah,
like Shaw.
Yeah,
I mentioned it.
Has his guys.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I don't think it's always best for the team.
No.
He plays his guys, and I don't like it. I'm just going to be honest. I don't like the his guys thing, man. Play the best people. Play your best players.
Yeah. Thinking back, I think Zion Branch would have been pretty good to go against Scatterboo, because there was a lot of times that Scatterboo just kind of lowered his shoulder and just Shaw would just bounce off him. Well, I don't think Zion Branch would have bounced.
I'm gonna push back on that a little bit. The same reason why I really didn't want to see Hackett as much that game, Well, that situation, the same reason why you probably didn't see Branch. The eyes aren't trained yet. You know what I mean? When they run all those crossing, all those motions and all the trickery that they ran, he would have been lost, bro.
We don't know that because
Well,
Tackett was lost and he still kept playing him.
well, that goes back to the his guys thing.
Man, Grinch just needs to get it together. He's the one that has the most to lose. If we don't perform this year, I feel like this is last year. At least I would hope that's the case. That Lincoln Riley's, make the hard decision to, let go of a friend, especially because, if we just have a decent defense, we should be a championship team in a yearly basis.
Yeah.
So
we got a USC celebrity in here, Tim Prangley.
What up, Tim? Tim, we definitely got to hit my DMs, man. We definitely got to plan something, man. Get you on here for sure. I know we talked about it, but yeah, we gotta finalize that, get that going. All right, so I guess that's gonna lead us into our fourth quarter. I'm sure everybody's waiting to get at this one, man. Let's talk about this AP poll. Do you guys think that we deserve to drop as far as we did? Go ahead, Blackie Shannon. Give me your thoughts on the AP poll.
I don't think so. Well, I see why Ohio State jumped us because they had a top 10 win against Notre Dame, and they came back and won that game. They had a good scoring drive to literally seal it with a touchdown. So I get it, but they've also played pretty poorly throughout those other games. They should not have even been number 6, in my opinion, at that point. They should have probably been 8 or 9 at that time. So, and Washington is our biggest threat in the Pac-12. So I know we don't like to circle games down, but that's one that a lot of USC fans are circling down to see that against Penix and Caleb. So, but other than that, Florida State, I don't know. I was saying this before. I think they could be the next TCU in a sense, as of how they've been winning these past few games. It's always come down to the final play or something like that in the game. So they could drop one. They were losing to Boston College. They should have lost to Boston College. So I don't know. It's just going to be interesting to see how this all pans out. Didn't Penn State jump us too?
Yep.
Yeah, they're number 6.
Is number 6.
Penn State, I think, is the best team in the Big Ten. I think they will beat Michigan. I think they'll beat Ohio State. There's just something about this team that I can't remember the head coach's name right now, but he just has I think they're very versatile on all sides of the ball, but running the ball, passing the ball, they have it at this point, and I wouldn't be surprised if they sneak their way into the playoffs for their first time. I think. Would it be their first time? It'll be their first time.
Yes.
So overall, we'll get back up into the top 5, top 4. I have no doubt about that. I know B. Jones may disagree with this, but I wholeheartedly think CU should not be in the top 10 or top 25 at all.
I was like, wait a minute, I've never seen nothing about
My bad. But yeah, Colorado dropping out. They got, as Coach Dion would say, a good old-fashioned ass whooping. So Pac-12 looks good. I know we lost some people in the top 25, but that's to be expected when we are literally the best conference and we're going to eat each other alive. It's what's going to happen since we're the best.
Yep. All right, Gunnar, what you got, man? Give me your reaction to the AP poll.
Yeah, so I mean, First thing was, it's cool to see 4 Pac-12 teams in the top 10. Something that was interesting that they got Washington at 7, but then they get a first place vote, and then like Penn State doesn't. So I don't know. I just think like if someone gets a first place vote, maybe they should be ahead of that team that doesn't get a first place vote. But that was just interesting. I'm honestly I'm different than you, Black Chan, on Florida State. I like them a lot. I think that Boston College game, I think they were overlooking them from the start. They had Clemson obviously this week or yesterday. That quarterback Jordan Travis is a little banged up. Shoulder got hurt last week. Yesterday, I think his fingers or his hand or something kind of got messed up a little bit too. I just think they're a gritty team. I like more Mike Norvell, what he's doing so far. I agree with you though with Penn State. I think when it comes to the end of it, I think they're going to be, the team at the top in the Big Ten. I think Ohio State just got lucky, in my opinion. I think Notre Dame really just choked it. They should have won that game.
Yeah.
Especially from my parlay, because that's the only reason, only game I lost. Another interesting thing, I guess AP just didn't want to update it for us and save the embarrassment. But in terms of this week, who they played, for some reason they still included that Stanford game, even though we played ASU yesterday. So I thought that was interesting. So like it says, number 8 USC faced Stanford 56-10. But then if you look at Oregon, they got the Colorado game. So yeah, that was interesting. I think overall nothing surprised me. I mean, Georgia's Georgia. Michigan, I still have questions, but I mean,
it's a refence.
They kind of been there from the top 5. So, but that's kind of my thoughts.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Made me laugh so hard with that one.
That was good.
Bro. What's the thing, man?
No, well, I'm going to say this to all the USC fans. Don't pay too much attention to these polls, rankings. USC is going to be perfectly fine if we win. Right? We're going to face all of those top 10 teams, or the Pac-12 top 10 teams in the AP poll. So best believe if we win all our games, we're going to be one of the top 4 teams, and that's all that matters at the end. So don't pay too much attention. I know we dropped to number 8, which, like I said, I really don't care because, if we win out, we're going to be there at the end. I can see how Washington's ahead of us. Penn State, obviously, they were right behind us. They beat a top 25 team. So, yeah, respectfully, they earned that little jump. Florida State, Ohio State, Texas, Georgia, Michigan, they haven't looked great on all of their games either, right? I give Georgia a pass just because they're back-to-back champions. So they've earned that. But even Georgia looks beatable this year. So if we do our job, we're going to be perfectly fine. And I don't think Oregon deserves to be that on the top 10. Personally, that's just my belief, guys. But they beat as you called it, Blackie. They beat a shitty Colorado team, right? So did they deserve to jump that much? I don't think so.
Well, they're giving them extra points because it was Dion.
I guess Travis Hunterless Colorado team, but listen, man, I don't know where to start. So I'm just start from the top, right? Let's take Georgia. Good old Georgia, right? Our national champion from last season. And sure, we give them the benefit of the doubt, because they're the national champions from last year. But that's last year. One season does not carry into the other. It shouldn't. Outside of the preseason poll, if you're not looking that great, it shouldn't even matter about what you did last year. So I had to catch myself, and I'm tired of other people saying it. Oh, well, they won last year. Okay, yeah, that's last year. That's last season. We are 4 weeks in now, and we see what they, we see what they can or cannot do. And they are not the number 1 team in the nation right now, and I'm tired of seeing them at number 1. They had an ugly win just like we had an ugly win, but we dropped 3 spots. They had a ugly win to UAB, but they're at number one.
That's true. That was pretty bad.
I'm sick and tired of it. It's about time that we start. That Georgia starts getting what they deserve. You know what I mean? Okay, we get what you did the last 2 years. That's not this year. Whole new season. We're 4 games into it now. Well, 5 now. It's week 5 now. So that's that. And then come on, man. So what Blackie Chan was referring to, as far as Colorado, I said I didn't feel that they should be out of the top 25. And that's simply because they lost to a ranked team. Right? And then you got the SEC sneaking Mizzou in there at number 23. Same old tricks we've been seeing from the SEC. Oh, yeah, let's just throw these guys in there just so we can say that we have the most ranked teams so the Pac-12 can shut up.
So my question, though, is since Penn State beats Iowa, you think Iowa should still be in the top 25?
Iowa has no offense. They should have never been up there.
I mean, Iowa was ranked number 25.
Yeah, they were 25, so they were ranked.
Yeah.
Do you think they should stay in the top 25?
I mean, but it was 25, so somebody deserves to go in.
Right. yeah.
When you're ranked 25, man, it's like you're on the fringe. You know, it's like
So if you're inside the top 20, you should still.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's my theory, at least.
I don't even think CU should have been top 25 to begin with. No,
No, I think they gave it to him premature, but they did give it to him.
They could have been okay. I would say that they could have been 25 or between 23 and 25 because they're not looking at them as a whole. They were looking at them as Dion, Shador, and Travis Hunter.
Exactly, and they beat some bad teams that no one thought was bad.
They did not. Yeah, they did not look at their offensive line, who has given up a total of 22 sacks this year. No, wait, 23 sacks this year. That's in 4 games. That's poor Shador.
Yeah. Hey, listen. If Shador makes it out of the season, he deserves some kind of individual
Iron Man award.
Yeah.
But like
season, man, I think he's what 60 plus hits at this point.
In his post game conference, he took all the blame, which good on him for doing that. But we all know what he wanted to say deep down inside about his offensive line.
Yeah, you mentioned that he was just holding the ball too long. He probably wanted to say, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was holding the ball for 3 seconds before he got sacked.
Well, I thought that, Dion and company would scheme around that aggressive defense. I thought they would run some quick slants, some screens and things, take advantage of Oregon's pass rush, but that didn't really happen. I don't know why they thought that O-line was going to hold up because it definitely didn't. So you didn't see that towards like the tail end on that last drive that they start running those quick screens and slants and things of that nature. Like they should have taken the Colorado State playbook, like you mentioned earlier.
Shallow crossing route.
Yep. But by the way, 74% agrees with us, Trojan fans. 74% of the nation that USC did not deserve to drop, which is a poll found on Bleacher Report.
Really?
Yes.
Good job, nation.
Right. So I'm glad to see that the whole nation is tired of the crap.
Yeah.
I mean, we see this all the time. Let's see who's Bama playing this week. That's who's going to be ranked higher than they should be.
Wait, is Bama even in the top 20? I mean, top 10?
They're in the top 12, but they're going to want them back in the top.
They're at 12.
Okay, thank God.
But you know what I'm saying? They do stuff like that. Like, okay, who we got? Okay, okay. Let's
the next game is Mississippi State.
Yeah, so let's rank Mississippi State so we can say that they beat a ranked team. The SEC's been doing that since. You know what I mean? Where's Rick when I need him, man? Rick would tell you. Rick would tell you, man. They've been doing this like that ever since 2004. So how it goes.
I'm not. For some reason, I didn't realize that Utah was at 10. Utah, I don't know.
They keep finding ways to win.
They keep winning, but it's just like.
Yeah, I got to see Rising I think that's my issue with them is like they're not they're not looking good to what we're used to, but that defense is
The
you know
defense is
same
solid
as
for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
hmm
And
I gotta see the offense with Cam and see how he
Is he
looks.
coming next week? I mean, I heard there was rumblings that he could have
Yeah.
potentially start this week. So
hmm
does that mean he's going to start next week?
I would think so. I mean,
imagine he could be returning soon, man. Within
should be soon. Yeah, exactly. We're facing them in October, so
Yeah, but
yeah.
Utah is just so boring. But I guess that's their their
Style,
tough nosed tough nosed teams. Yeah, but it's just like if they can't stop Caleb, can they actually keep up though?
This is a good question. This might kind of answer to what we're talking about. I guess.
I don't
Who do you
so.
think is better right now, Notre Dame or Utah?
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Yeah, Notre Dame. I agree. So like,
quarterback play is better.
right.
Yeah, Sam Hartman is slowly kind of winning.
Utah may have a better defense, though. To be honest.
David has his top 5. It's UW at 1, number 2 Ohio State, 3 Penn State, 4 Texas, 5 FSU.
I'm not mad at it.
I'm not mad at it, but David, I don't see the Ohio State appeal.
Okay, yeah. I would put Ohio State at 5.
I would rather put Penn State at 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, actually, I would put Michigan over Ohio State. Like I know Ohio State doesn't, or I mean, Michigan does a lot of like short passes, but I was looking at stats. JJ McCarthy has the highest. He almost had a 80% completion percentage this year. I know it's maybe not the like throwing it deep or whatever, but he's taking care of that ball.
Absolutely.
I mean, they have that big running game, right? Or
yeah,
the running back. What's his name? The Michigan running back.
Oh,
Corum and Edwards.
Blake Corum and Dylan Edwards. Is it Dylan Edwards?
No, it's
no, I don't know the first name. I know it's Edwards.
Oh, Dylan Edwards for CU.
Yeah.
Come on, Blackie.
Hey, they both have Edwards.
It's something with Corin or.
It's Donovan. I'm actually looking at the.
So I wasn't that far off.
So interesting. Donovan Edwards is only averaging 3.3 yards. He's only rushed it 33 times. Corum's got 58 attempts.
That's the guy I was thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I think I said this in our group chat. I don't think Dylan Edwards would even start for us. No Blocky, no Rocky. He was getting destroyed.
Oh, he wasn't even recruited by us. Yeah.
He was getting destroyed by Oregon linebackers or whatever.
They're gonna have to play Alden McCaskill if they want pass blocking. But the only thing about Alden McCaskill is, he's a transfer from Houston. He suffered an ACL at Houston coming over. He's just recovering from that. I don't know how durable he is. I don't know.
I thought he was smaller. He looked a little bit bigger than I guess I assumed.
McCaskill?
Yeah, he looked a little bit bigger than I thought.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Yeah.
I think he's about 6'2", 210.
Yes,
something
exactly.
like that.
Yeah, he looks like a big boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of Oregon? Obviously, you guys know my biased opinion, but what do you guys think of their team?
I think it's concerning that they don't throw the ball deep.
Yeah.
I think that's something I don't think people are talking about a lot. So
just a lot of short passes.
Yeah, maybe that'll work for them, but I just think Washington, us, Utah, I think we can adjust, on that. So yeah.
What do you think about him?
Yeah, B. Jones, I want to hear you.
You really want to know about
Loser! You're a loser! Are you feeling sorry for yourself? Well, you should be, because you are dirt! You make me sick, you big baby!
In all honesty, man, they're a good team. Not a great team, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They have question marks, too, especially in that secondary. They did not look that great. They didn't get tested this week, of course.
I was going to say, CU made them look good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But if you look at previous games, the Texas Tech game, is if they faced up a guy, any team that can match them physically, they don't look that great. They don't look that great.
With that being said, what are your guys' rankings for the Pac-12? Your top 5?
I'll start. Yeah, I'll go Washington. I'll go USC. I'll go Oregon. I'll go Wazoo 4, and then Utah 5.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's pretty spot on for me as well.
Yeah, Washington, USC, Oregon. Yeah. Well, I think I would put Washington State over Utah.
Yeah, you can flip flop those two, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Like Cam Ward he's balling out right now, and we don't know what Utah is full strength right now, but it's safe to say that they're better than averaging 21. I think they're averaging like 17 or 21 points a game. Like that's not good. But
Hey, Becky, what about Jaden Delore? Okay, so we talk about this pregame. So I would like to decommit from the Jaden Delore bandwagon.
yeah.
Previous episodes, I have mentioned that Jaden Delore being a baller, and that he would shock some people, and that has yet to come true. He's proven me wrong every game this season. So I would now like to announce that I will be shutting the hell up about Jaden Delore, and
All
I never mention his name ever again on the show. Thank you.
All right. It's my turn. I would like to apologize. I have made a severe lapse of judgment. Like, I really thought I was better than that, and I didn't think I would make mistakes like this, but I will do better. I will be better. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Delore, you're not the guy.
Yeah, it's a little concerning that they barely beat Stanford. They didn't even turn the ball over, it looked like. So looks like that offense just is not the same offense that we've seen, the last year, maybe even the year before that.
Yeah, I mean they lost Singer, and
Right.
that was it. And it's I don't know, man. Maybe they have some offensive line. I haven't even.
Right.
It's hard watching them play, so I haven't really examined them much, especially since they're not a threat to us.
What are you guys' thoughts on DJ?
I would also like to decommit from the university.
I mean, we called it last week, B. Jones.
Yeah.
At least I know I brought it up, and you kind of agreed on it. That I personally had Wasu winning that game because of DJ. His inconsistent, his play is not consistent, in my opinion. That's what you guys are talking about, right?
Yeah.
DJ Uyangale.
Yeah. So, I mean, we called it when it comes to
only 50%.
I said that, if I recall right, that we would have to see which DJ we get. The rap sheet on DJ has been throughout his career has been that he's not very consistent, and you don't know which DJ you're going to get. And he's proven that to be right. I said that if he could prove that wrong, that Oregon State would win. That was not the case. So
he brought him back, though. He did bring him back.
Yeah, but I mean, too little, too late.
It comes down to not being consistent.
Too little, too late, though. Yeah. No, I still think he's better off at Oregon State than he is at Clemson.
Oh yeah, I would agree. Clemson's just lost and all over right now. I'm not even impressed with what they did at Florida State. But
I swear to God, if this happened,
hey.
no, Jaden Delore is probably watching this. He's like, I'll show him.
Right. Right.
But keeping it with the Arizona schools, I'm gonna be really paying a close eye to Arizona State.
Yes.
Moving forward, because they made us they didn't make us look great yesterday, right? So, but I want to say that a good reason for that is Dillingham and him taking over the play calling on the offensive side. So if Dillingham was potentially play calling, we probably have like a 2-1 Arizona State team rather than a 1-2 Arizona State team. I mean, and then I'm looking at their schedule. They play Cal next. I can see Arizona State winning that game. Then they play Colorado, and possibly they can even beat Arizona. So
Yeah.
so I can see them
turn that around, man.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but yeah, I feel like I agree with you 100%. I feel like they're going to definitely be turning that around, man. If they can play like that throughout for the rest of the season, they'll definitely shock some people.
And they play Oregon, too, at home. So let's see how Oregon looks for that game.
Yeah. That
it's
should be
probably going to be Pac-12 after dark, or what do they call it? So
yeah, Pac-12 after dark.
Speaking of, man, what do you guys think about this big noon kickoff? I know we're jumping the gun. We're going to get into it fully on Thursday, but
I'm excited for it.
What's that?
I'm excited for it.
Right.
I'll be there.
Well, yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, Black Chin will actually be at the game and be previewing the game on Thursday with us, as well as our good friend CJ will be joining us. So make you guys tune in for that. Yeah, what's your thoughts?
I think Blackie Chan's gonna need a bodyguard, a security guard at that deck.
Oh, no,
that game. He's gonna be talking so much smack talk. So
no, like it was like this was in like 2014 or something like that. I think it was when Matt Barkley was playing. I was at the game. It was cold as hell. And there's this CU fan behind me, and he, whenever we would score or whatever, we were destroying them, he would tell me to sit down or whatever, and he would like nudge me, and then the thing that kind of pissed me off was he was like I wish Matt Barkley would get hurt or something like that, like I wish he would tear his ACL, and then I think he said something about my mom too, who was right next to me, and like my dad actually had to hold me back because I was going to beat the crap out of him. Like I was going to destroy someone, and he was a drunk guy too, so I would have easily just thrown him down the stairs. But I'm ready for whatever they say to me. I'm ready.
Listen. Yeah, the fans get out of hand sometimes, man. Like, you can say whatever you want, but don't put your hands on me. Don't touch me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. that's when it gets a little overboard, especially talk about somebody's mother. Yeah, that's a big no.
My mom would beat his ass too. So,
hey, Blackie Chan, I have a question. Are you gonna have a sign up for that pregame show?
I'll try to. I'll think of something. I'll definitely think of something.
You got to plug the show, man. Just hold up a big QR code. We'll take some red torch.
maybe I'll get the Light the Torch podcast on a sign or whatever. I'll have something on the back on the other side or whatever for a different sign. Something.
That'd be dope. Yeah, man.
Okay.
It should be a blast, though, man. As far as that kickoff, I got mixed feelings about it. I mean, obviously, we're going to be playing in front of the nation at that time. But playing that early, I don't know how our team's going to deal with it. But it's something that we're definitely going to have to get used to anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Into Big Ten. I just hope
the staff is used to it, so that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. I just hope our boys are ready for that.
Right.
I feel like the only good thing or another good thing that'll come out of this game is that the team better be ready this time. I don't care if it's a 9 a.m. start time. I feel like they're going to be ready no matter what.
Yeah,
I think they will be because maybe you can make the argument that we were overlooking ASU, looking for Colorado. But I did notice, like when I got home right before I went to bed after the game, Bear Alexander, he posted a Colorado USC like picture like immediately after the game was over. So it was
he had that ready.
Yeah, like it seems like I think the boys were really looking forward to this game coming up. So.
Yeah. I guess yeah, he did actually. I did see that. Yeah, I mean that tells it all. Then that lets you know everything we need to know about what happened this
Kenny
past Saturday.
Dillingham even knew. That's why he had them had the cameras in the locker room when he gave that speech.
Yep.
He knew that was going to get his clicks.
Damn, I didn't hear that.
So, are we gonna hear a Lincoln Riley say something when we play them? We play for national championship games, not Pac-12 championship games, fellas.
Yeah.
Question: don't the teams, I guess, have to sign off for those interactions to be shown on TV, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. See, I don't. To be honest, even going back to Oklahoma, do you guys remember like a pregame, conversation from Lincoln to the player? Like, I honestly don't remember. He's normally not a raw guy, I guess, right? So
no memorable.
Right.
The only time he does that is in our hype videos.
Right.
Yeah.
So just something that was interesting. Yeah. I hope he doesn't say something. And he's like,
no, I don't think he'll do something like that. But real quick from TAFAF, who are the top 3 in the early Heisman race?
Are we in overtime, guys, or?
Yeah, we can make that overtime.
Yeah.
Top 3. I'm gonna say Penix, Caleb, and my third would probably be Hartman.
That's a tough.
That third is kind of honestly, I think it's just a 2-player race, but I mean, I'll throw Hartman in there. Why not?
Hartman is third in passing touchdowns.
Okay, but there we go.
Gunnar, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with the first 2. I think it's Penix and Caleb. I mean, that third one is. I know this might shock people. I mean, you can give it to Jordan Travis if you wanted to at that third spot. I know Black Chin wouldn't like that, but I mean, I'm just looking at some of these lists, like Quinn Ewers. I still have questions about him.
Exactly.
I like Sam, but they just lost. So, and then I think Future, they're gonna lose to us. So, yeah, that's just kind of my thought. But yeah, those are my top 3 right now.
Bro.
So the top 2 are the same. I have Penix at 1 and Caleb at 2, and for the simple fact that UW is padding Penix's stats. And then number 3, I'm gonna go with. Damn.
It's rough.
I'll go with Drew LR again. Just like a dark horse. Like if Penn State keeps winning, he might sneak in there.
Okay,
Definitely.
that's fair.
So same as top 2 as everyone else. I could bounce between Jordan Travis and Quinn Ewers. Quinn Ewers, she's going to have more time to make a statement, but the one name I never want to hear ever is Shedeur Sanders. Ever.
Why not? Why is that?
Look at this face. I called this game. I'm telling you. They had to throw that much because they had to. And when you play against a better defense than TCU, Nebraska, and CSU, you're going to look bad.
Okay, so I don't think you're looking at what he's doing. That's his own line is to blame on that one.
Yeah, I was about to say he just doesn't have the personnel to help him out.
I just don't want to hear the media say it. Okay, he can say all he wants because he has to believe in himself. But the media just really soured me on everything about CU and Shedeur and Travis Hunter.
I mean, the betting odds, he's at plus 20,000. So I think you'll be okay now.
Yeah, it definitely got moved a lot.
But they're still going to try to sneak him in if he beats them.
Oh, yeah. As soon as they get to the next win, which won't be next week, he'll be right back up there. You know that.
Yeah, Anthony James said, unfortunately, Knicks. Like, I mean, his stats may look like it.
Oh,
Like
damn.
he's 11. He has 11 touchdowns, but like he commands that offense, but he cannot press the ball downfield.
Right. So the Heisman is supposed to be college football's most outstanding player, right? Show me Bo Nix highlight. You know, it's going to look very vanilla when you compare them to Caleb's and Penix, you know?
A lot of dinks.
Yeah, exactly. So the numbers might be there, but yeah, that wow factor is not there.
Instead of Bo Picks, we'll call him Bo Dinks.
Yeah, Bo Dinks.
But yeah, no. Honestly, if Caleb and Penix continue to play in the same way that they do right now, I think they'll probably give it to Penix just because it's a different name than Caleb.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, that's going to go as far as that matchup goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Head-to-head. When we see them head-to-head and the two leading, if, you know, whoever comes out victorious is probably going to take.
Even if Penix has a better game than Caleb?
But that's what I'm saying. That's probably who's going to take it. Whoever has the better game out of that.
No, but like if we win, but Penix has like 500 yards.
How's the UW running game?
I really don't know.
I'm looking at the stats right now. They're
don't
averaging almost 5 yards a carry, 4.8.
I feel like they're averaging more than that.
Oh yeah, I can look real quick. I was actually looking at all three teams. Yeah, so we're averaging almost 7 yards a carry.
Use Tim.
So I think
Riley.
Yeah, so I think people that when they talk about the Heisman, they forget that Caleb still has less snaps than these guys. I mean,
less snaps, less quarters.
Exactly. So Penix has 138 attempts for 1,600 yards. Caleb only has 101 for 1,200, and they're averaging the same average, 11.9. I mean, or Nix. I was looking at him. He's 8.9 and he's got 131 attempts and less yards than Caleb, and then Caleb has less. So it's like, yeah, Bo Nix shouldn't even be in the conversation between these two. Yeah, I just think that it's going to be a Caleb's Penix show the rest of the year and see who can light it up more.
Honestly, if we wanted to pad our stats, we would have been playing Caleb the whole year. Because if he would have played in those 3 or 4 other quarters, we could be looking like he could be looking better than Penix right now.
Absolutely,
he's
way
like
better.
Caleb would. I think Caleb could be close to 2,000 yards.
Yeah,
he would be close to 20 touchdowns by now.
Yep, and he's got the better rating if that helps. So QB rating, Caleb's got 223, Penix got 209. So
what website are you using?
If we would,
I'm just looking at ESPN.
That Stanford game, I feel like Caleb could have had like 8 or 10 touchdown passes.
He would have had 2 games worth of stats for sure.
Oh,
yeah. So.
I mean, and then Bo Nix had what's his name? Portland State, and then Washington's been playing Penix the whole time, right?
Yeah, because for some stupid reason, Bo Nix was in the fourth quarter against Portland State.
Was it really?
Yeah, so.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, to your point earlier, Raul, yeah, I mean, their backup quarterback for Washington has only attempted 14 times.
Yeah. So.
Wow, Miller Moss has attempted 32.
Yeah.
And then that's only because we haven't passed it with Miller Moss. We just ran it for the most part when he's been in.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you, David. He's very vanilla. He gets the job done. I'll put it to you like that. To me, there's no like wow factor there.
Anthony James says dark horse for the Heisman, Rome Odunze.
Who's that?
The wide receiver for Washington.
So I didn't know this. He actually returns kicks and punts and stuff like that. So he returned one yesterday.
He reminds me a lot.
It's not a bad dark horse, honestly.
Who's that one receiver for Washington that had like the
John
best, huh?
John Ross.
No, he's like led all time in punt returns.
I think it's this guy, Romaduzzi. I think that's how you say his last
I
name.
don't think so. I'm thinking of someone else here.
So they have him. They got Jelaine Polk. That's how you say his first. And then Jalen McMillan.
No, I'm thinking of all history.
Oh, gotcha. My bad.
Washington.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he played for Washington, or he had the most punt returns, TDs.
TDs from Washington. It's not John Ross.
That's. Oh wow! This
Dante
Rome-
Pettis.
Dante Pettis. Okay.
That's who he reminds me of. Dante Pettis. Like
Wait,
he's
Dante
overall, like he has 9 punt returns in one season.
Okay. Yeah. He's definitely a baller, man.
Wait, Wes Welker played for Texas Tech?
Wes Welker did.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
what are we talking about?
I think he's just
Sorry,
looking
I was looking at the punt
Really
return.
back here, it's really back here.
I just saw his name. I was like, wait, what? Okay, my bad.
But I mean, now that you bring up Texas Tech,
My bad.
I mean, like the media or national, they want to hype up Oregon now that they look great, but don't forget that Texas Tech nearly beat them the previous week. And
They
if it
just lost
wasn't,
to West Virginia too.
yeah, and if it wasn't for some controversial calls, they could have potentially lost that game.
Yep.
So just keep that in mind, fellow Trojan fans. That I think we'll be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, every team has their bad games, and this was our bad game.
Yep. We just happen to get punished more than everyone else for it.
We all know why, though.
Yeah. Not surprised though. But hopefully that I kind of like it because the coaches need to see that.
Yeah.
Hopefully that motivates them to get their stuff together because that was not cool. You owe us more than that, coaches.
We've been on for a little bit longer than we should be, but buy or sell, UCLA makes a QB switch.
Ooh.
I sell it.
I sell it.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh.
'Cause I think they
That's a hard environment that he just went into at
Yeah.
Rice Apple Stadium.
if you're building for the future, man, you got to get him wet. You got to get him.
All right.
We all saw how DTR turned out after like 7 seasons.
Yep. Yep. So yeah, I don't see that happening.
I think he's
No.
better than DTR too.
Yeah, he's better arm talent for sure.
So what's your game plan for next week, Blackie?
What do you mean?
When are you flying into Colorado?
So I'm going to be flying in. I get there at like 6:30 in the morning. My wife will be flying in a little bit later because she's going to be working. So she'll get there around like 7 in the afternoon. I'm going to hit In-N-Out the moment I get there because they finally opened up In-N-Outs in Colorado just as I leave Colorado. So that pisses me off. But I'll probably I'm going to try to find wherever their game day show is and try to weasel my way into the front of the crowd so you guys can see me.
Absolutely, man. Oh,
I'm going to have a USC cape on.
Oh, you really have a cape?
I do have a cape.
Uh-oh.
Where's my cape?
And then for those in the chat, that like B Jones stated earlier, we're gonna have USCJ on the preview show on Thursday. So make sure you
Why
guys
can't you
tune in.
see this? There it is.
Okay.
There you go. All right. So we get Super Blackie Chan.
Yep.
At the game. That should be fun. So you're gonna so that's the plan. You're gonna wear the cape to game day, holding the big Light the Torch podcast QR code for everyone to scan.
As a matter of fact, take a torch as well.
There you go.
Gloves on. I'm pretty much rock USC gear every day, all day, actually. So
Good.
So, guys, make sure you guys are looking out for Blackie Chan on game day.
I'll be there. Can't wait.
Man, what time is that even going to start? At like 5 a.m. Considering the game is so early. It'll be noon.
The pre-show? Yeah, probably 5, 6, yeah.
Sheesh.
Damn.
Yeah. Got you rethinking your game plan now?
I'm gonna have to
fly
camp out there
You fly in on Saturday morning, or is it
Friday morning.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, you got to
Yeah.
camp in. You just put your tent right there, right in front.
Right.
Yeah. I fly out there and I leave Monday. I leave at 9 p.m. Monday night. So I'll be getting home at 12 o'clock. So
Well, guys, we are well over time.
yes.
And yeah, once like Anthony says, man, we'll see you guys on Thursday. Make sure you are ready, got all your energy, because we will have a great show. With our guy USCJ will be joining us, man. So make sure you guys tap in. Before you get out of here, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, man. All right, get that notification bell so you know when we're on. With that being said, right on.
I don't.
Right on.